everyone. This is Lilyan Prado-Carillo, and I get the awesome opportunity to come talk to you guys. I work for CoolSpeak, and I'm just so excited just to talk to you all parents about how does it feel to have rising sophomores in college. That is an amazing, amazing thing. First, really, I just want to give you guys just applaud you. This is a great accomplishment for you, for your student, and really for society as a whole. And so I'm really excited to get to celebrate this with you today and to just give you some tips that hopefully will help you throughout the year and really for hopefully years to come. So today we're going to just talk a little bit about motivation, right? The importance of motivating our students, the importance of having supportive conversations with them. Also, just reminding them about the resources that they learned about freshman year, and really just a little bit about financial literacy, right? So that we can all kind of have a peace of mind, yourselves, your students as well, just in the longevity, right? Thinking ahead of all the things that they have to look forward to in the future. So hopefully you will enjoy today and take some helpful hints, and hopefully it'll help you and your students along the way. So first off, I do want to just tell you, research shows that about 50% of students who are Pell eligible do not return to year two of their college education. That is a huge number. That means 1 out of every 2 students who are Pell eligible. Now, whether that's a full Pell or partial Pell, right? Anyone. And so that is just a big accomplishment. So I just want to applaud you guys for that. I myself was a Pell eligible student. I received Pell all 4 years from my undergrad. I was the first person in my family to graduate high school and the first person in my family to go to college. And so for me, that was a great accomplishment after many times and many things that happened freshman year. That caused me to kind of rethink, is this really what I want to do? Is this really the best use of my time? I'm not helping my parents as much, financially. There was lots and lots of obstacles that would have held me back from going year two, but I was so happy that I did. And so I'm just very excited that your students are there and that they're about to start their second year. So first off, I just want to talk to you about my first point, right? The importance of motivating and listening to your students. I know that for us as parents, I'm a mama now too. We have 5 children. My oldest is 26. The next one is 24. The next one is 21. And then we have 2 girls, 13 and 9. And I know that for me as a mom, really, and also just a person that has worked in higher ed, it is so tempting to want to talk and give it lots of advice, right? And we do want to give advice, but the first thing that we want to do is we want to motivate and we want to listen to our students. We want to listen to what they're thinking. We want to listen to, how are they expressing themselves? How often are they calling to talk to us, right? Are they kind of submerging themselves in the importance of and the richness of university life on campus if they're living in the dorms, if they're living at home, making sure, right, that they're spending enough time on campus, right, listening to their concerns, to how they like their professors, what classes do they really like and enjoy, really trying to also just motivate them to be curious, motivate them to explore, right? We want our students to be active thinkers and just really want to experience everything at the university level, talking to professors, asking leading questions, right? What kind of possible careers are there? Many times I talk to students, especially high school, late high school, or just their first or second year in college, and they'll ask, hey, to get this kind of job, what do I need to do? What kind of degrees do I need? Many times a bachelor's is a bachelor's. We have no idea the amount of jobs and opportunities that are out there, right? As long as we're being true to ourselves and following the things that we want to follow and really following our passion, doors are going to open. Having that degree is definitely going to open the door. So us as parents, I think our best role is to listen, right? To be supportive, to make sure that we are asking questions that really allow them and invite them to talk to us about the experience of them in college, right? Are the classes hard? What kind of learner are they, right? Do they like the lectures or do they like the labs? And do they like online? Do they prefer in person? And really help them kind of discover the type of learner, the type of student that they want to be and to continue to develop. So that would be my very first point. Make sure that you are there listening, motivating, inviting, celebrating, right? That curiosity, that risk-taking attitude that your students have, and really just celebrating this time for them as second-year college students. No longer are they those scared freshmen right? Now they are out there, they know the resources, they know offices, they've made connections. So it's time to celebrate that and really try to get them to fly out and to just have that experience, to make those memories. So for my first point, like I said, motivating, listening to them. My second point that I hope that you guys will talk to them about is them just utilizing their campus resources. Many of the students, their freshman year, it was heavy, right, from the faculty side, from the staff side, trying to get them, hey, there's a writing center. Hey, there's a career center. Hey, you can have work study jobs. Hey, go to the financial aid office. Go to the money management center. All of those things are resources that your students have available for them. They shouldn't cost anything. All of those things have already been paid for by the fees that they pay when they're trying to get, when they're paying to get their tuition, their classes, and all of those different things. And so all these resources are super important for them to utilize, right? To go and ask questions, present themselves in the career center, ask about potential jobs, from my major, ask about, I don't know, aptitude tests, asks about, what kind of internships do they have available maybe around the campus, even not so much, outside of the university as a sophomore, right? We can talk about that in a second when we talk about looking into the future. But right now, as young students, as sophomores, asking, hey, I might be interested in this. Is there anyone around campus that y'all know that I could shadow or that I can go meet, right? That career center is going to be super important. How do I build a resume? I've never had a job before. It's okay. You put your college classes, you put your volunteering hours, you put extracurricular activities. What are the things that are applicable to show, right, the skills that your student has developed since they were young and in high school and in their first year of college? So, career center, learning center, the writing lab. So many of our students struggle with writing papers. The rigor that the college professors are expecting is not the same many times as it was in high school. Even if our students were in honors classes, even if they were in dual credit classes, right, that rigor has to go up. And so taking advantage of the learning center, right, and the writing center is huge. Many of our students, it would be great for you to motivate them and to remind them, hey, the learning center is not just for people who are failing classes. The learning center is for people that want to get ahead, to talk to tutors, free tutoring, right? Who knows, even later on, they may themselves want to be tutors for other students as well if they're really academically talented in certain areas. And so the Learning Center is there to provide all of this support. It's not just, oh man, I'm about to fail. Now I'm going to go to the Learning Center. No, you can go be very proactive from the beginning and want to do these things, right? Things like time management, how to study, things that many of our students maybe have forgotten in that summer if they didn't take classes and they just want to kind of get back into things. And so motivate them to use those campus resources. There's also counseling that the students can be part of, right? There's counseling peer groups. There's opportunities for them to talk, all the offices, student support services that are there and available to them. The other thing, as a resource, maybe us as parents don't normally think that student organizations are resources, but they are. So many of them have affiliations with professional organizations, right? So when I was a student, I joined an organization called BESO, which was the Bilingual Education Student Organization. My dad was like, BESO, what is that? Because in Spanish, that means kiss. Well, they were affiliated with TABE, which was the Texas Association of Bilingual Education, and then they were affiliated with the national. So as a student, being part of a student org, I got to go to the state conference and I got to go to the national conference. All of those things are resources. They are networking. They're looking at professionals that are already doing the jobs that they want, right? That is a great resource to not only motivate, but to inspire and to keep driving. All of those things are good things. So tell your students, right? Motivate, listen to them, and then use those campus resources that are available to them. My next point really is just kind of like looking into the future. So we want your students to already, as sophomores, right, celebrate what they've learned their freshman year. But as a sophomore now they are kind of fine tuning who they are as a young person, who they are as a student, what kind of things do they really enjoy learning about, right? So that they can start thinking, oh, do I really want to be, that lawyer? Do I really want to be that teacher? Do I want to maybe get a little bit more expertise in certain things? Do I want to start looking into internships, that are possible? Maybe not right now. but maybe for the summer after your sophomore year, or maybe the spring after sophomore year, or even into their junior year, right? But we want them to kind of start looking at that future. There's many programs that I didn't learn about until my fourth year in college, when I was already a senior, that I wish I would have known about, right? Programs like student support services, where students can go and get free tutoring, free experiences like going to the opera, going to watch Shakespeare in the Park, building friendships, right? Many of our students who are part of Gear Up and Upward Bound Math and Science, Talent Search, Avid, all of those programs feed into student support services at the college level and at the community college level. And so those things are good things to kind of just encourage our students. Hey, you enjoyed Gear Up, you enjoyed, these other programs. As a college student, you're still able to do these things. There's other programs. I know here on campus, there's a program called JAMP, and I forget what it stands for, but basically it's for students who want to go into the medical field. And so as sophomores, as juniors in college, right, they already start taking these trips. They start going into different colleges and universities, looking at medical schools. They start preparing them for the MCAT, which is the admissions exam for medical school, right? And so if there's these programs, if your students are thinking, oh, I want to go get a master's degree, or I want to go to law school, or I want to go to a medical school possibly, right? Looking for programs actively that they, as undergrad students, right, as sophomores and juniors, they can take advantage of, they can join, they can look to as resources and all of these different things. And so it's very important for you guys to have these conversations and say, hey, have you looked into, possibly seeing if there's a program that can help you with this? Or, hey, I know that you're maybe considering, medical school. Have you looked into this, right? If that overwhelms your student, it's also okay to back off. Let them, go at their own pace, right? We just don't want them to be afraid. We don't want them to ever shrink their dreams down because they're afraid, or they think that, man, money is going to be an obstacle, or, I made a C in the biology test that I took, last week. There's no way I can do this. It's okay. It's a C. We get better, right? We keep learning. We go to the learning center. We go to get, experience. We go to get tutoring. We go, how many people have said, man, my first and my second year in college weren't the greatest, right? But they are leading awesome careers in whatever field they're at. And so we want to tell the students, this is just a moment. We continue, right? Like Maya Angelou said, we do the best that we can with what we know. And when we know more, we do more, right? We do better. And so definitely that's kind of the mind frame that we want your students to take. My last point that I would just want to talk to you guys about is just financial literacy. And so I know that financial literacy is a big piece for many of your students, right? It's a great thing to talk to your students about money. If you haven't already, and many of you probably have. Now, if you're anything like me, or how my family was when I was younger, it was always about, how do we want to like save money, or how to not spend money, or we don't have enough money, right? But we want to make sure that our students are learning, right, how to have money management skills. Usually there is a resource on campus called the Money Management Center, and so students can go and take classes, just to kind of manage their money. But also, just I'm talking in terms of their financial aid piece, right? That they know how to apply for scholarships. Now that they're sophomores in school, their departments might have certain scholarships that they can apply to, right? So that they have to decrease the amount of student loans that they get. Also, continue to fill out that FAFSA form as much as they can, as early as they can. As soon as it goes live October 1st, that they are right there and they're the first ones to start filling that out. That they have a relationship with the financial aid office at their school, and student accounting, right? So that they know that their classes aren't going to get dropped. Making sure that they go and that they know what all of these pieces are and how all the offices fit together and who does what. Making sure, that when they're offered student loans, and this is a big one, parents, because I know that that's such a weight on us when we're thinking about our students. Well, I don't want my student to graduate college and have so much debt, right? So letting them know, hey, if the financial aid office offers you, $5,000. I think for $4,500 is the max for sophomores. for subsidized loan. If they offer you that, but you don't need that much and you only need 1,000, it's okay to go to the financial aid office and say, hey, can y'all decrease that 4,500 that you offered me to 1,000 because I only need 1,000. And they will. They'll decrease it and they'll only give them what they need. Now, let's say that my computer breaks, my laptop breaks, the next semester. I can go back to the financial aid office because I have that 45 is my window as a sophomore to take subsidized loans, which means they have a zero interest rate, right? So it's okay to go back to the office and say, hey, my computer broke. I need another 1,000. So now it's going to be 25, or 2,000 or 2,500. That's still better than accepting everything that they offer you up front when you don't really need it. Because what happens to that money? We use it for other things. We use it just for life. We might give it to our parents, to help and all of these different things. But at the end of the day, all of that is student debt. And at the end of the day, all of that is going to try to weigh your student down when they finish, in 2 more years or in 3 more years, sophomore, junior, senior year. Especially if they're going to consider going into a master's degree, right? Or like I said, a law school or a medical school, we want them to be the lightest possible in terms of debt, so that they can continue having that educational experience. One of the things I didn't mention about just thinking about the future, I talked about internships a little bit, but I did not talk about study abroad trips. I do want to just throw that out there. Studying abroad for your students, even though it's a financial, it is, it's going to have a financial impact, is so important for them to be able to go to a different country, to see different things, to see how, the economic development of that country happens, the cultures, right, the languages, just having that experience to kind of just broaden the perspective of your students is such a huge thing. So financial literacy, if I don't take out all the loans that were available to me as a freshman and as a sophomore, maybe when I get to be a junior in college, right? So they'll finish this year. Next year as a junior, maybe I want to go, to Europe, or I want to go to Latin America, or I want to go somewhere else. But because I haven't had all this debt accrued freshman and sophomore year, maybe junior year would be the time that I would accept the loan so that I could have that experience if I don't have enough scholarships or enough grant money that's going to allow me to do those things. Those things are what college is all about. It's those experiences. It's taking part in the richness of university life. It's taking part in the richness, all right, as a college student, learning new things, growing, being a risk taker, all of those different things. The other thing that I just want to touch on really quick in terms of financial literacy, once you are paying for your school, right, whether it's financial aid or your parents, you guys are helping, or the student is working and they're paying, right, it's paid, right? You're paying for this experience so that they can have this education. But with that also comes such a thing called as satisfactory academic progress, right? Students have to pass a certain percentage of the classes that they take. So if they don't have to drop a class, they shouldn't be dropping a class. If they're about to fail a class, you want to be informed and talk to your students about satisfactory academic progress, which is, I think for short, they call it SAP. Say, hey, did you know that if you drop too many classes, if you're on financial aid, this is going to affect your satisfactory academic progress, right? And if that keeps happening, or if they go on probation, or if they go on suspension, then the student, in order to be able to come back to school, has to pay out of pocket, or else they can't come back. They have to pay out of pocket for one semester, show, right, in good faith that they're going to be doing better and that they're serious about their education now, and then they won't be eligible for financial aid until the next semester. And so those are things that might vary a little bit from school to school, state to state, but this is informing you on how to have those motivating conversations, those supportive conversations, right? It's not judging. It's not saying, hey, you didn't do this, and if you fail this, and if you're absent one more time, it's not about that. The hardest thing for us as parents is to look at our students as the young adults that they now are. And many times when I was a university administrator, parents would try to call my office and say, hey, I just want to talk to you about so-and-so, my son, my daughter. And my very, very first question to them was, I need them to call me first, right? Because they are young adults. You want to treat them as such, right? You want to be there. You want to guide them. You want to help them. You want to answer their questions. You want to ask prodding questions, scaffolding, right, information, leading them to the question that you want them to consider. But you don't always have to do the thinking for them. That is what they are there to do, to just expand and to learn about how to own and develop their own critical thinking skills, right, so that they can think and just continue to do the things that they want to do, and continue to learn the things they want to learn, so that they can have the life that they want, so that they can have the life that you desire for them, which is a very, very exciting thing. And so we are going to get through this together, parents. I know that you guys are doing an amazing job already. You have some awesome partners that you probably developed while your students were in high school with the Gear Up program, right? So you're going to have all of these amazing things that they're going to just do so good. And so I'm just so proud of them. I do want to just tell you that it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be a great ride. And so parents, I want you to sit back, right? Not too back. I still want you to be involved, but it's going to be a great year. Sit back and watch your students grow, because they're going to continue to do amazing, amazing things with your support. So thank you all so much. Again, my name was Lillian. I work for CoolSpeak. It was an honor just being able to talk to you and to tell you congratulations, and hey, keep going. All right. Adelante. Thank you.